The morning is the first decision you make, even before you open your eyes. It decides how your mind will think, how your emotions will react, and how you will carry yourself in the world. Most people wake up and fall into life. A Stoic wakes up and steps into life. The difference is simple, but life-changing. Most people wake up to the world. A Stoic wakes up for the world. The world has two types of mornings. The first, people grab their phones, scroll, compare, complain, rush, repeat. The second, people rise with intention, with awareness, with discipline, and they build their life quietly, one morning at a time. The Stoics believed your morning is your mind's foundation. If the foundation is weak, the day collapses. If the foundation is strong, nothing can shake you. And this is why your morning matters more than you think. Not because you have to be productive. Not because some influencer said 5 a.m. will make you rich. But because the first hour of your day is the battlefield of your inner world. If you win that battle, you control your life. If you lose it, the world controls you. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who ruled millions, wrote in his journal every morning, not for public, not for fame, not for applause, but to remind himself of who he was and who he must not become. He didn't wake up to lead an empire. He woke up to lead himself first. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." The morning is the moment when you say to yourself what you will become today. Not what you were yesterday. Not what people think you are. Not what your fear says you are. But what your discipline allows you to become. Because every morning, life gives you two invisible doors. One door says, repeat yesterday. The other says, rise differently. Most people choose the first door without even knowing. A Stoic chooses the second door on purpose. But here's the truth no one tells you. A powerful morning is not about waking up early. It's about waking up with clarity. You can wake up at 4 a.m. and still be lost. You can wake up at 9 a.m. and still be disciplined. Time is not the master. Intention is. A Stoic morning is not loud. It's not filled with hype music, caffeine rush, or fake productivity. It is quiet, slow, still, but stronger than steel. The morning is where you face the voice in your head, the weak one, the lazy one, the fearful one. And instead of arguing with it, you replace it with truth. You don't say, "I don't feel like doing anything today." You remind yourself, feelings are not commands. I move because I decide, not because I feel. That is the first Stoic rule of the morning. Feelings are allowed to exist, but not to rule. The second rule, you start the day with what you can control, not what you cannot. A Stoic doesn't scroll the news to see who is angry, what went wrong, or what the world expects. He goes inward first, then outward. Because if the world enters your mind before you do, you lose ownership of the day. So before the world speaks to you, you speak to yourself. You remember 3 things. I am alive, and that is not guaranteed. I control my actions, not outcomes. Today is not a time to react, but to choose. That is the quiet strength of a Stoic morning. It doesn't make the da. A Stoic morning is not about doing more. It is about doing what truly matters and doing it with intention. The world teaches you to chase noise, but the Stoic learns to build power in silence. When the sun rises, most people rush into the day already defeated by the way they woke up. But the Stoic does not wake up to react. He wakes up to prepare. He is not surprised by problems because he expects them. He is not controlled by emotions because he observes them. He does not wait for motivation because he moves with discipline. The morning is where a Stoic sharpens the mind before the world dulls it. And this sharpening doesn't happen through scrolling, complaining, or comparing. It happens through awareness. The Stoic sits with his thoughts, not with his notifications. He reminds himself of two truths. Life is short, and most of it is wasted by people who forget that. When you wake up and remind yourself that death is real, the day becomes meaningful. You stop wasting time because you understand time is not something you have. It's something you are spending every second, whether you notice or not. That is why Marcus Aurelius wrote every morning, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you think and do and say." The morning is not just a routine. It is a reminder that you are temporary. And because you are temporary, what you choose to do today matters. A Stoic morning is built around three inner pillars: clarity, control, and courage. Clarity means knowing what truly matters today instead of letting the world decide for you. Control means focusing only on what you can influence, not wasting energy on what you cannot change. Courage means choosing the harder right over the easier wrong the moment the day begins. That is why a Stoic does not start the day by asking, "What do I feel like doing?" He asks, "What is the right thing to do?" And then he does it. There is no negotiation with weakness, no debate with laziness, no emotional discount. The mind wants comfort, but the Stoic trains himself to want growth instead. And growth almost always begins in discomfort. That is why the morning is sacred. It is the first place where you break the comfort that destroys you. If you control the morning, you control the mind. If you control the mind, you control the day. And if you control the day, you control the course of your life. Most people live as if life will start later, when the stress is gone, when the situation gets better, when motivation finally appears. But the Stoic knows life is happening now. Today is the only day guaranteed. Tomorrow is a rumor. So the morning is not just a routine. It is a contract with yourself. A promise that no matter what the world brings, you will not betray your own potential. You don't wake up to escape the world. You wake up to face it with strength. You don't wake up to feel ready. You wake up to become ready. This is why the Stoic morning is not loud, not dramatic, not glamorous. It is quiet discipline. It is the moment where the weak version of you loses and the stronger version begins to rise. The average person wakes up and serves their distractions. The Stoic wakes up and serves his purpose. And the difference is not in talent, intelligence, or luck. It is in the way the day is owned, before the day owns you. They will see the results, not the routine. That is the beauty of a Stoic life. The reward is loud, but the work is silent. You don't need applause. You don't need validation. The morning gives you something far more powerful: self-respect. And when you wake up every day with self-respect, life stops feeling heavy, because you are no longer carrying the weight of regret. You live with direction instead of confusion, with clarity instead of chaos, with purpose instead of distraction. This is why the Stoic morning is not for the lucky, the rich, or the gifted. It is for the willing. Anyone can have it, but not everyone will choose it, because the first hour of the day will always belong either to your weakness or to your will. The average person wakes up and lets circumstances shape them. The Stoic wakes up and shapes himself first, before circumstances even arrive. And the more he practices this, the more he understands that happiness is not something you chase after. It is something you guard, not from the world, but from your own undisciplined mind. A chaotic morning creates a chaotic life. A structured morning creates a structured mind. And a structured mind builds the kind of life that looks effortless from the outside, but is rooted in powerful, unseen discipline. People will call it talent, intelligence, luck. They will not see the quiet war you win every morning. You cannot control whether the day will be heavy, but you can control whether you will be weak. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can control your own reaction. Weak mornings create weak minds. Strong mornings create unshakable minds. And when the mind is unshakable, the world stops feeling like a threat. When you wake up with intention, the world loses its power over you. You stop living in reaction and begin living by design. The Stoic doesn't ask the morning to be easy. He asks it to make him stronger. He doesn't hope for comfort. He prepares for challenges. While most people begin the day escaping reality, the Stoic begins the day facing it. He knows life is unpredictable, but the mind can be trained. He knows people will disappoint him, but his character doesn't have to collapse. He knows emotions will rise, but not every emotion deserves obedience. This is the silent power of a Stoic morning. It builds inner armor before life throws its first punch. The greatest battle in life is not against the world. It is against the version of you that wants to stay the same. And every morning, that version wakes up first. It tells you to stay in bed, to delay, to scroll, to escape, to wait for the right moment. But the Stoic understands the right moment is not found, it is created. That is why the morning is not just a habit, it is a rebellion against who you used to be. The moment you rise, you are not proving anything to others. You are proving something to yourself, that you are no longer a slave to your weaker impulses.